Ellen's connection to Epstein and her role in recruiting young actors for his island is finally being exposed. Leaked voice notes and emails showing Epstein using code words for his victims have just come out, and according to one voice note from his victim, Virginia Giuffre, Epstein wasn't working alone.
I've talked to many other girls,
okay,
and a lot of things have happened, okay? So, just take a deep breath.
I'm trying. It's just I'm not that type of person. That's why I was so.
And I understand that, and that seems to be a case with a lot of people. Okay, either they need cash quickly and they fall into this rut. But that's why I'm trying to.
I understand.
Look into this, but that's why I need you to be totally honest with me.
I am being
totally
completely
truthful.
honest with you.
Okay. So what else happened?
And then when he started pleasing himself, he got up and he went over to a drawer and he pulled out this thing, and then he pulled down my and then he started, it was just like this.
In the early 2000s, Virginia Giuffre, a woman from the UK, claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell had trafficked her to Epstein's island and forced her to have sexual relations with powerful men, including members of the British royal family, starting when she was just 14. Virginia even had photographs of these men, including Prince Andrew's. Virginia revealed that Epstein wasn't working alone, and instead had a network of safe houses and elites all over the US, the UK, and the Virgin Islands. Allegedly, Jeffrey Epstein was taking women on his private jet to underground parties and trafficking rings where high-ranking members of the governments and media were present.
It took a lot of people involved. It took doctors, psychiatrists, gynecologists, dentists. All these people knew what was going on, hairstylists. I mean, the list goes on. I could keep going on and on and on. Drivers, chauffeurs, butlers, housemaids. It took all of these people turning a blind eye, which they weren't blind to because we were right there blatantly in front of them. They knew exactly what was going on. Everyone's turned a blind eye in the place where I was supposed to be protected, in my country where I was supposed to be protected. The justice system failed us then. I believe they're going to do something amazing for us now. I really believe in them. I believe that the New York Southern District wants to do the right thing. And I will do everything that I can do to be a part of helping them do that.
Even though no one else was ever prosecuted, and the Department of Justice says that Epstein was working alone, these leaked files and Virginia's testimony prove that other people were involved. In 2019, a few weeks before the official release of the Epstein files, Virginia revealed on social media that she was receiving threats from unknown sources that warned her of what would happen if she kept speaking out. Virginia had announced that she was writing a book about everyone she saw during her time on Epstein's island and on his private plane. Before she could release the book, however, she was hit by a truck. Although she survived this, she allegedly committed suicide days later. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Shortly before her death, Virginia had actually tweeted about being targeted. The tweet reads, "I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, for the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted."
Welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and trafficking." The New York Post says that Giuffre took legal action against billionaire financier Epstein in 2015, alleging that she was trafficked at age 16 after his ex-lover and convicted Madam Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her from her job as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The mom of 3, according to the Post, also alleged that she was forced to have sex with disgraced Prince Andrew 3 times when she was 17, including at Epstein's Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and and in Maxwell's London home, where a notorious photo of her with King Charles' eldest brother was taken.
The book Virginia was writing before her death was never completed, but part of it was still released. The accusations included in it are part of the reason that Prince Andrew, one of the most powerful people in the British royal family, was later arrested. Believe it or not, but a significant portion of her book actually disappeared right around the time of her death. The part that was sent to her publisher, however, revealed shocking details.
It's a harrowing read, and it'll make you feel uncomfortable, but these are the excerpts that stood out for me from the memoir written by the late Virginia Giuffre, which has just been released. In it, she describes being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to, quote, a man who raped me more savagely than anyone had before. Now, it's worth noting that in the US edition of the book, she described the man in legal filings only as, quote, a prime minister, and that he had repeatedly choked her until she lost consciousness and, quote, took pleasure in seeing me fear for my life. Giuffre doesn't name the Prime Minister or many of the other men that she writes about in this book. Her co-author, Amy Wallace, says it shouldn't be up to the survivors of abuse out there. It should be the authorities, which is why she's calling for the so-called Epstein files to be released. Giuffre does name Epstein and Prince Andrew, of course, who she says she had encounters with in multiple locations.
Virginia's final voice note confirmed what the rumors had been saying all along. Epstein wasn't working alone, and if you speak out against him, you will be silenced. The Department of Justice isn't telling the truth, and they haven't released the complete files, even though it's been years since Epstein died. Director of the FBI, Kash Patel, was even caught on tape lying about Epstein. He went on Joe Rogan and said that there was no way that Epstein was murdered. Here's what Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's most trusted advisor, had to say about this.
So you think he did not die by given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by no.
And do you believe that do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
This voice note was released in 2024. The FBI and the Department of Justice announced that they were going to release the Epstein files 1 year later in 2025. This announcement sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Several emails and voice notes from the Epstein files show that Epstein was using his connections in the entertainment world to recruit young women. Epstein was even part of several modeling agencies and named as a scout. Now guess, which person fled the U.S. just after this announcement was made?
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very
she
sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen Degeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites.
This wasn't the only sign that something was wrong. Shortly after Ellen left the country, her executive producer, Twitch, someone she called her right-hand man, committed suicide. In his note to his wife, Twitch allegedly revealed everything. He told her about what he saw when he was working with Ellen, things that involved powerful people, including names he never expected to be associated with that kind of darkness. He told Allison that he had been pressured into silence, that people close to him, even Ellen, were not who they claimed to be. Then came his voice note, allegedly a recording to Ellen which revealed everything. The voice note, which has never been officially released, has been mentioned in multiple online forums and leaked DMs.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic suicide of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his suicide, he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left his note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away and save my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
Ellen wasn't even trying to hide her alleged involvement in the disgusting things Hollywood is now being exposed for. In one episode with Sandra Bullock, Ellen and Sandra Bullock openly discussed her use of adrenals extracted from and laughed about how it kept them young.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean.
This might sound like a joke, but the rumors of this happening in Hollywood have been there for years. There were even videos showing one Hollywood elite, Peter Nygard, trying to buy aborted fetuses. This same individual later became notorious for serious criminal allegations and convictions involving the sexual exploitation and assault of numerous women over decades.
Stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful?
Yeah, a little bit. And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
No, you gotta be out of your monkey. You can get paid a lot more than that.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid.
Yeah, but we spent
I bid $500 for, you know.
I'm prepared to outbid him anyway.
Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me.
I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs.
Yeah.
If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, placenta. Even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be. It should be captured and recycled.
The recently released emails from the Epstein files show Jeffrey Epstein was interested in genetic medicine. He paid a researcher at Massachusetts General Hospital for tests that could be used to help create stem cells. Investigators found a $2,000 invoice from 2014 for sequencing part of Epstein's genome. The doctor that he paid also provided an estimate for personalized longevity studies that would use gene editing. He told investigators Epstein was enrolled in the Personal Genome Project at Harvard University.
Some fans even believe that the set of Ellen's show was modeled after a temple on Epstein's island.
Number 2.
Nice. We could have done this here.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? That's a good way to die. They're not going to let me buy that place. Look at it.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? It's a similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Let me see Ellen's background. What?
And just to give you an idea about the kinds of things that were coming out against Ellen, this was what she forced Justin Bieber to do as a prank. This was also when Ellen's nice guy persona was starting to crack. The Ellen Show came to an end after allegations of abuse related to Ellen surfaced. I think we all remember how shocked everyone was to find out that Ellen, a person who had made being kind her entire personality, was actually abusive. Ellen apologized for her behavior, and during her apology, even forced Twitch to be on the show.
Like a lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be a right? You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage of your show where everybody's walking around afraid for their life, and it's like Abu Ghraib where they're hooked up to wires and they
dogs
have like
around them.
Yeah, she's got dogs and hoods. If an intern's late, they have a hood on. I don't support that. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Her departure lined up perfectly with the announcement of the Epstein's file release, and fans couldn't help but notice that Ellen also tried to change her appearance too. Someone who had been blonde for all her career changed her hair color and moved to England to start fresh. But the timing was too suspicious for many. Why would Ellen suddenly vanish from the spotlight just as Epstein's associates were being revealed? And why the drastic image change?
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife Portia de Rossi have reportedly fled the US bound for the UK after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
We know for a fact that Epstein was tracking young women, models, and child actors from the entertainment industry. In one of his emails, Epstein said that to a film director researching a really bad guy that gets children for sent to his island. Epstein told her, "That person is me. Your friend told me about the project she is doing, researching a really bad guy that gets children sent to his island. She almost fainted when I told her that person was me." This is 7 months before his arrest.
Question: which one do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd and lascivious conduct with a prostitute if possible. That exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23rd, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning 2002 to 2022. Epstein died in 2019, and emails received after that are largely spam or marketing offers. Overall, the emails offer a raw look into the disgraced financier and offender's world. While this inbox wasn't the only one he used, the newly uncovered emails do suggest how central Maxwell was to his life, something that contradicts her telling of events. She's characterized herself as a former girlfriend and property manager for Epstein, not someone with eyes into his vast influence machine or operation.
Following the release of the Epstein files, several of his victims have started speaking out and revealing exactly what happened on that island. Marina Lacerda, one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, said, "There are people out there who know more about my abuse than I do. The government is still in possession right now of the documents and information that could help me remember and get over all of this. I don't have any of it."
Until now, Marina Lacerda was known publicly only as victim number 1 in 2019 court documents. But now she's speaking out for the first time about her experience at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Her cooperation with the FBI was key to putting the offender behind bars. She says she was just 14 years old and living in a broken home in New York City when a friend brought her to meet Epstein to give him a massage.
I think with Jeffrey Epstein, it starts somewhere, but then it ends with either you having sex with him, whether you like it or not.
She became a part of a network of young girls in Astoria, Queens, recruited to be with Epstein, similar to what prosecutors say he did in Palm Beach, Florida.
When he has somebody new in his life, he likes to see them a lot. So I went there a whole bunch of times, and, it led to, unfortunately, he forced me to have sex with him, basically.
Lacerda says she was paid thousands of dollars and that as a young immigrant from Brazil, she says she believed being associated with a financier could lead to better opportunities.
It never happened, obviously, because it came to a point when I was, I'd say 16 and a half or 17. He didn't want me anymore. He was just like, you're too old.
He said that?
He's like, you're too old. I don't want you anymore.
Another victim claimed in her testimony that she was so scared of what Epstein was doing to her that she tried to swim off of his island. In her testimony, the victim said, "I already had 2 prior escape attempts. There was one when I tried to swim off the island after I'd been 3 times and after Ghislaine had taken my food away. I was prepared to die swimming and trying to escape off that island that night."
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must be in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being raped. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on.
Parts of the file where the victim revealed what was happening on the island have been redacted. However, another alleged victim, a young model by the name of Gabriela Jimenez, broke down outside a hotel back in 2009, screaming that she had seen something horrifying involving powerful guests. These were the same things Ellen was laughing about with Sandra Bullock.
Luis, esta es la triste realidad de la joven Gabriela Rico Jiménez, quien, como observamos en unos momentos, intentó también agredir al elemento policíaco que logró someterla esta madrugada. Por eso, bueno, vamos a buscar la versión de las autoridades del por qué.
It wasn't just Ellen that was joking about things that were later proven true. From the recently released Department of Justice Epstein files, people have noticed that words related to food show up unusually often in emails and documents. The word pizza appears hundreds of times along with mentions of ice cream and grape soda in places where they just don't make sense. These repetitions have driven a lot of online speculation that such words might be coded references to minor or sexual activity, but that meaning is not established by law enforcement.
So I don't know what this one means. I'm not sure if you've seen it. This is Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Colm Olivier. And by the way, imagine, I feel bad for anyone that's innocent, that wasn't involved in anything incriminating, and maybe before Epstein was charged with in 2008, before the truth started coming out of what he's guilty of. If someone was caught in this email thread talking about something innocent with Epstein, I feel bad for them. So my heart goes out to them, and I hope they don't get stuck along with everyone else that's actually been involved in things that are incriminating. But this one sends an email. No, some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. And then the Olivier replies, as long as you don't have any hammerhead ones, are like white sharks. And then Jeffrey sends an email the next day. As two are Russian, I guess some might refer to them as white sharks. And then Olivier then emails, the king of Saudi has a few white sharks in his Jeddah palace. I totally prefer yours. Sure, I would enjoy the view. And then Jeffrey goes, on my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls. So this is an email that essentially just refers to Russian girls, to our Russian, doesn't say girls, to our Russian, and refers to them as white sharks. And then later says, the king of Saudi has some, but I prefer yours. And then later talks about an aquarium full of girls. It's just another example, in my opinion, of code words being used. I just don't know what it would mean. What do you make of this?
So what I make of it is basically he's saying that they'll hook up with ugly girls, that the head doesn't matter so much, that the body's what matter. That's the way I read it. That's what I think Epstein means by that, is basically saying like some of them are like shrimp. You can take off the head, just keep the body. So in other words, that's based on reading a lot of his stuff. That's my take. It totally could be wrong.
These code words aren't proof of wrongdoing, but they have given fuel to conspiracy theories such as Pizzagate. The worst part is that the elites in power aren't even trying to explain their way out anymore.
2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, you're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files which relate to the wacky Pizzagate scam.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So excuse me, your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be...
There are connections to the language.
Well, the QAnon people believe there are, so
I don't know what QAnon people believe.
Have at it.
At this point, it's not even about one person anymore. It's about a system that keeps repeating the same pattern. People speak out and then suddenly they're silenced, discredited, or gone. Files get delayed, evidence disappears, and the truth gets buried under headlines that never quite add up. So what do you think is a coincidence or something being covered up? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more breakdowns like this, uncensored, straight to the point, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.